If you're seeing this video right now and you're in your 20s, I created this channel for you. Welcome to my channel, Intentionally Angelene, and of course, my name is Angelene. Okay, let me introduce myself real quick. I'm Angelene, I'm in my mid-20s, and I started this channel because my 20s have truly been a lot, and I know a lot of you out there can relate. I've moved out on my own 3 times, ended a long-term relationship, watched my parents divorce, dropped out of college 3 times before finally graduating, saved multiple 5 figures, and was in the best financial position I've ever been at 21 years old. And then I went into debt, and I finally saved it all back. I monetized a YouTube channel in a month and then walked away from it. I've dealt with grief, anxiety, depression, breakups, friendships ending, being alone, and rebuilding, restarting, and trying more times than I can count. I'm not a professional, I'm just someone who's lived through it, and I'm here to share the real stuff that actually helped me build a more intentional, meaningful life. I'm really happy you found my channel. Now let's continue. Here you'll find the space to finally heal and enter your intentional 20s era. Whether you're 20 or 29, it is never too late to take control back in your life. Today's video is a little bit different. I wanted to share something a little bit personal with you guys. Honestly, throughout my 20s so far, I've realized that you don't really know yourself until life truly breaks you. Until you're forced to face the version of yourself that you've been avoiding. And genuinely, my early 20s truly broke me. But yet, through those years, I learned the biggest lesson in my life thus far. And today, I don't want to just share that lesson with you through a 10-minute video. I want to share a speech that I wrote. It was a speech in my public speaking class. We were assigned to write a personal testimony about the biggest lesson that we've learned in life thus far. It went to become the rawest I've ever been in front of my peers that wasn't in front of a camera. And I want to share this with you because if you've ever felt broken or if you've ever needed a way out and you're trying to find out why this space, why this channel was meant for you, I believe that you'll find parts of yourself at least relate just a little bit within this story. Okay, let me add a little bit of context to my experience with this class because it'll make sense why this speech is so important to me. And literally, I have the speech right here. For some reason, I only have 5 pages of it. It was supposed to be 9, but I don't know where the other 4 pages are. I do have it written in my Google Docs as well, so I can pull up the last paragraph. But this public speaking class was so fun. It was probably the most memorable experience I could have at a community college. And my professor was very intuitive, very insightful, entertaining, very deep person. His aim was to really get people to think outside of the box, be more open, emotional, and really dig deep into who we were. This was a pretty filled class. It was about 20-ish, 25 people in my class. We genuinely built a bond, a human connection just by being in this class together and hearing so many of each other's stories and insights and opinions. Half of my class cried multiple times, giving speeches, giving their personal testimonies, or even just giving feedback to each other. It was so raw, so emotional. It's just something that you don't see every day. It really opened my eyes to my performative side. I did a lot of theater and public speaking as well in drama in high school, and I really enjoyed it. And this kind of brought me back to those times. The most that I've done that now is by YouTube, posting videos and stuff. But seeing others be so raw and emotional about their life, it was just so touching. I've never talked about stuff like this in front of people, just strangers. Now I just want to share it with you. Without further ado, here's my speech. There was a time not too long ago when everything I thought I could count on began to fall apart. For almost 20 years, I lived a decently stable life, happily ever after, with the same family in the same childhood home, surrounded by the comfort of a familiar neighborhood. Until one day, in 2021, it all shattered. My parents divorced in a messy, painful way. I dropped out of college in my 2nd year, worked 2 jobs to save enough money to move out on my own at 19 because it was just too painful. I experienced a dramatic fallout with extended family members. And to top it all off, my nanay, what my Filipino family and I called my great-grandmother, passed away. All of this within 1 year. This left me disheveled, lost, and uncertain about who I really was anymore, how I could really find my place and start all over in this new life. It's safe to say that the journey ahead of all of this would be the hardest to navigate. However, this was the start of how I came to learn the biggest lesson in my life thus far. That real growth, real healing, doesn't work through what happens or doesn't happen around me. It begins from within. It led me to find that throughout this long, painful process of grief, there is a small space where peace exists. That in order to find it, I must start digging inward. I spent so much time looking for answers in the chaos around me, trying to fix everything on the outside, thinking it would somehow heal what was broken inside. But growth is about learning to adapt and move through uncertainty. Growth begins when you learn to embrace the pain, when you face the parts of yourself that you've been running from, and when you allow yourself the space to heal. Often we do everything in our power to resist the things that actually help us grow, whether it's facing painful emotions or making tough decisions, especially when grief is involved. We generally try to change our outside appearances or environment, make big decisions impulsively, and some of us will even isolate ourselves from the world entirely, hiding ourselves from any potential pain we could endure again. Although all of these strategies are natural human reactions for survival, they actually keep us from our real purpose on this earth. And that purpose is to evolve into the most honest, whole, and healed version of ourselves. Not by avoiding the pain, but by learning from it. Not by controlling everything around us, but by connecting deeply to what's within us. This is where I forgot where the rest of my pages went, so I'm gonna go ahead and go back on my phone where the Google Docs is. 4 years later from that year, I can finally say that I am speaking from that small place of peace. I learned to make that space bigger by turning inward instead of trying to control everything outside of me. And it grew slowly with intention. Through therapy, journaling, mindfulness, and learning to stay present, I began to heal. I learned how to set boundaries that honored my well-being. I learned to let go of the need for everything to make sense. And most importantly, I found acceptance, not just of what happened, but of who I am now. And if I can leave you with anything today, it's this. No matter how lost you feel, you are never too far gone to begin again. And when you do, remember to begin from within. This was the speech that I presented in front of my public speaking class after everybody has been crying all day. I was one of the last people to present my speech because I was so nervous and so scared because everybody was being so raw and emotional. Even just 2 years ago, I couldn't talk about some of the things I just talked about in this speech without crying. That just goes to show how much I've healed and how much that class, like the courage of others, really influenced me to feel like I'm in a safe space. That is exactly why I decided to make this channel, because I wanted to create that place again. If my professor can create this space where men, women, older women, people who are 18, people who are 50, people who are 25, 30, who are sharing these stories and crying in front of each other, being so raw and vulnerable, and I feel safe here. If there's something you're going through that is so hard, so painful, it's not the end, and you can always heal from within. I just hope that things that I talked about in this speech has resonated with them in some way on their journey, just like how I hope it now sticks with you too. Today's journal prompt, and I feel like this is kind of already self-explanatory, but today's journal prompt is, what is the biggest lesson in life you have learned thus far? Feel free to journal it on your own or comment down below so that we can hear. I would love to hear about the lessons that you've learned. You never know who you're going to resonate with, who's going to be touched by your story. Thank you for watching, and again, welcome to my channel if you're new here. For a more intentional you, please hit the subscribe button, and if my personal testimony spoke to you, I have so many more videos that you can check out, and I can't wait to grow with you all even more throughout this channel. I love you guys so much. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.